Hi, my name is Noni Matikela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. So today we are still talking about the Senzo Meyiwa case. We're still talking about the saga, the drama, everything that has to do with it. But before we get into doing that, guys, please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure that you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure that you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you will be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you doing that. Guys, on these social streets, engagement is key. So please make sure you engage, you engage, you engage. Thank you. Now, let's get to this situation. In South Africa, there's this saying that says, he who alleges must prove. Case law South Africa. Ne? He who alleges must prove. Now, here is what I found when I was checking that. In South African law, the principle that he who alleges must prove is a cornerstone of the burden of proof. This means that the party making a claim in court bears the onus of proving their entitlement to succeed in their claim. This principle is generally applied in both civil and criminal proceedings. Elaboration. General principle. The general rule is that the person who alleges a fact or asserts a claim must prove that the fact to the satisfaction of the court. This is often referred to as the onus of proof. Example, in Pillay versus Krishna and another, a South African case, Pillay versus Krishna and another explained this principle, stating that if one person claims something from another in court, they must prove they are entitled to it. Special defenses. However, there is an exception. If the person against whom they claim is made raises a special defense, they become the claimant in relation to that defense and must prove their entitlement to it. Denial versus assertion. The rule is that the person who asserts or alleges something, not the person who merely denies it, must prove it. A denial of a fact is not something that can naturally be proven. Shifting of burden. While the general rule is that the burden of proof rests on the person making the claim, in some cases it can shift to the defendant if they raise a special defense. However, it's important to note that this shifting of burden is not binding if the parties attempt to do so through agreement, as stated in Mueller versus Snyman. Criminal cases. In criminal cases, the burden of proof rests on the prosecution to prove the guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. And the burden does not shift to the accused. Did you hear that? Let me read it again. Criminal cases. In criminal cases, the burden of proof rests on the prosecution to prove the guilty of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. And the burden does not shift to the accused. Did you hear that? Now, we are dealing with this thing now of the state not wanting to prove beyond reasonable doubt, because here we are, the accused said, actually, this happened to us. We were taken to this place and this place, and we were assaulted, and we were murdered, we were trapped, all of these things. And now the state does not want to prove that these guys are lying through AVL. They don't want to prove it. So what must happen now? They are alleging, yet they don't want that allegation to be proven true. And then here is another thing about he who alleges must prove. Ali Singer versus Margaret Nankabirwa in the Supreme Court of Uganda at Kampala. Okay, that's something else, but let's read it because it's interesting. It's civil appeal in 2016. Honorable Justice of Court of Appeal in their judgment delivered on the 7th November 2019 discussed the principle of who alleges must prove the facts. This is a second appeal from the decision of the Court of Appeal of Justice, Shimie and Mangusha and Budera, dated 15 December 2015 in a civil appeal. Yabo. Court further stated that the party who asserts a claim must prove it. It stated that when a person is bound to prove the existence of any fact, it is said the burden of proof lies on that person. The burden of proof is in a suit or proceedings lies on that person who would fail if no evidence at all were given on either side. And in this case, it was the appellant who failed to prove. This is now another country, Uganda. So this is something that is done across Africa, it seems. So if these guys are running away from proving, here is one for South Africa. Here is a case that we can read from South Africa. He who alleges must prove. These are a lot of people in this case. No, I'm not going to read. That's a very long one. It's a very long case. Look, let's see this one from Zimbabwe. Let's look at this one quickly from Zimbabwe. It looks like this one. These guys are. It says, this case is about a permanent stay of a criminal prosecution because of torture and inhuman and degrading treatment, which the applicant was subjected by state security agents prior of being brought to court on a criminal charge, which is exactly what happened to these guys. Hereafter referred to as the applicant appeared before a magistrate at Rotten Row Magistrate Court in Harare in 14 February 2009. In the case of Dodo, she was charged with the offense of contravening section 24 bracket A of the criminal law, blah, blah, blah. It was alleged that in the months of June and July 2008, the applicant and the co-accused person recruited or attempted to recruit or assisted in recruitment of Ricardo to undergo military training in Botswana in order to commit any act of insurgency, banditry, sabotage, or terrorism in Zimbabwe. The applicant alleged the magistrate in court that she had been abducted from home and subjected to torture and inhuman and degrading treatment by state security agents. She requested the magistrate to refer the question of contravention of her fundamental rights to the Supreme Court. Two grounds were used to justify the request. The first was the institution of the criminal prosecution was rendered invalid by pre-charge ill treatment to which the applicant was subjected. It was urged that the manner in which she was apprehended by state security agents and treated in detention prior being brought to court on the charge constituted a violation of the fundamental rights not to be arbitrarily deprived of a personal liberty guaranteed under Section 13 and not to be subjected to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment protected by Section 15 of the Constitution. The argument was that uncontested behavior by state security agent in kidnapping the applicant, blah, 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 blah. But she had to prove all of these things. Ne? That's what there was evidence there. And then the evidence was given. She was terrified, all of that, all of that, all of that. Now, she did as ordered. Then she won this. She did as told, and she was detained there, and all of that. Now, let's talk about the honors. The court takes second point for determination and all of that. What I'm trying to say is the state must prove, they are alleging, they must prove that. So the defense cannot be expected to prove that they are AVLs, whereas they are AVLs. They are AVLs. What are your thoughts when it comes to the situation of the one that alleges must prove. They are alleging that there are no AVLs. Did they do thorough findings, investigations? That's the question.